Comedy Spot bartender Mike here for another quarantine cocktail. Today we're going to take things back to basics with the Old Fashioned. The Old Fashioned is great because you can enjoy one before a meal, after a meal, during a meal. Basically, if there's a meal in the vicinity, it's a good time for an Old Fashioned. To make the Old Fashioned, you will need your whiskey of choice. A lot of people like to use bourbon or rye in an Old Fashioned. I like to use blended scotch, and if that's wrong, I don't want to be right. Simple syrup, which is sugar dissolved in an equal amount of water. Angostura bitters. If you're not familiar with this, it does for cocktails what adding pepper or another spice would do for your food. Maraschino liqueur. Don't confuse this with cherry liqueur. It is made from cherries, but it's more of a semi-sweet liqueur as opposed to a cherry syrup. If you don't have it, just substitute it for the exact same amount of simple syrup. And finally, absinthe. This stuff is really strong. We're only going to use a little bit of it for the aroma and a little bit of the flavor. And we're going to stir this drink, so you're going to need something to mix it in. If you don't have a fancy mixing glass like this, that's okay. I promise your drink will still taste awesome. I like to put in the bitters first so they don't splash everything else out of the glass. Go ahead and put in 2 to 3 dashes. Next, add a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup and a 1/4 ounce of maraschino liqueur. If you don't have it, just use more simple syrup. It'll be a little different, but it's okay. And now it's time for your whiskey. We're going to add 2 ounces. Add ice to the glass and stir. Just like with shaking, stirring is diluting and chilling the drink. You know you're done when the sides of the glass start to fog up like that. Now if you were paying attention, we didn't put in the absinthe yet. Well, that comes now. I just pulled this glass out of the freezer and we're going to coat the inside of the glass. There are 2 ways to do that. The first way is to pour a little bit into the glass and just sort of roll it around until it coats the glass. The second way is to put the absinthe in a little atomizer like this, which I find a lot easier. Just a few good sprays. Then put ice in your glass. If you have a tray that gives you big cubes like this, use one of those. It'll melt slower and keep your drink cooler longer without diluting it. But if you don't, any ice is fine. Then get a strainer and strain the cocktail into the glass. And for the garnish, we're going to take a peel of lemon and just sort of squeeze it over the glass. We call that expressing the oils. Those oils are going to sit on the surface of your drink, give it a nice aroma as you're drinking, and if you rub the peel along the rim, you'll also taste a little bit of those lemon oils as well. Then just drop the peel into the glass, and there we have a take on the classic Old Fashioned, making quarantine a little bit easier, 1 sip at a time. Enjoy. Maybe 2 sips at a time.